how'd you feel about our receivers though? Not, the whole trade convo, because I feel like we've spent more of our receiver talk saying what we don't feel comfortable, like what we need versus what we saw from these guys in terms of GP,
they were
Van,
pretty good, man. I mean,
Quez, Dez, you know what I mean? Scotty
Fields
Company.
got the ball to Pickens early. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing down the field, but it was nice to see Pickens do some run after.
Did you like him in the screen game also in terms of like
Yeah.
the get it to him right now?
Yeah, it was that sidearm throw that
Yeah.
Fields threw.
Yep.
Yeah, I was fine with that. Just get the ball to Pickens more. Just figure out ways to get him the ball.
Because it was a different approach than what we saw with Matt Canada, where it was more so the only time we were getting him the ball is down the grass. This was, okay, you might not be able to create crazy separation with these routes, but I can get up and throw you this ball right now, get you a block out here now. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah, completely good with it.
He's explosive. He's not the most agile side to side, but when he decides to go north and south, you can see him pick him up, put him down.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's an easy guy to tackle.
Yeah. But that's the thing with him. North and south. North and south, man.
Van Jefferson did good. We've been talking about him. Calvin Austin ended up with like 40-something yards. I like Scotty Miller a lot. Des Fitzpatrick even caught a pass. Nice pass.
I say Calvin should have had the touchdown. That was the one thing I was like, yo, you was doing you missed having like a great night, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyone else? No, I think those were the names that kind of stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Receiver room.
I
could check the box score.
I thought Des Fitzpatrick later on thought he did some cool stuff, man. I know he had the one he had a catch, but it ended up getting called back. I forgot who the penalty was on, but that was the one I was like, I thought that he had a little couple moments.
Yeah, no, that was really it. I mean, Connor Hayward caught the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like the receiving core for the most part. Yeah, there weren't any drops, wasn't anything stupid going on outside of, like you said, the Calvin Austin potential touchdown. But that was a tough catch. Hit your hands.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have bobbled it. Tough pass. I don't know.
No, I think both things could be true.
Yeah.
Like, you want a better throw because that should be an easier catch for Calvin. But at the same time, we do have an expectation that, yo, Calvin, you can make that catch single. The first time you still get your feet in and nothing's wrong with that either, man.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the Marvin Leal if you want to pivot to defense.
I was literally
Marvin
that's what I was
Leal.
transitioning to.
Ryan
man.
Watts wasn't bad either.
So let's talk some of them dudes, man. DeMarvin, I got a film session that is coming out on him as well, man. That probably be tomorrow though. About to say because I haven't finished that one all the way just yet, but I thought that with DeMarvin, yeah. I'll let you go first. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah,
we moved them all across the D line.
Mm-hmm. That's what we talked. Yep.
He was getting after it. He was around the mix every time. We even had him on the outside for one play.
Yep,
and it looked good.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing going into this year where his back's up against the wall, where it's going to be make or break. Like all the reports out of training camp is he's showing that athleticism and the reasons why we drafted him in the third round and why he was supposed to be a first round prospect going into that draft. But yeah, he fell for whatever reason. We ended up scooting him in the third. But yeah, I mean, he looks good, man. He looks really. I mean, he looks like.
Mm-hmm. Say it, man.
He could be. I know you've been comparing him to Tuitt, but like he could potentially be better than a Tuitt here, just because of that versatility. You could literally play him across the whole D line, and he was excelling in this preseason game, and that's what he was doing at Texas A&M too.
Yep.
They played him all across that D line. Now I do think he's fit more for that Cam Hayward role, that Stephon Tuitt role.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why at times I'm concerned with putting him on the outside because I don't want to deteriorate his development for his more natural position. But if he's doing good at every spot that you put him at, then maybe I should just throw my hands up and say, why not? If you put him on the outside sometimes and he keeps playing good and he's playing good whenever you put him on the inside, whatever. It just shows that he's that good at whatever you put him at. Like he can be that Swiss Army knife. The more you can do, like we talk about it all the time. So good for him.
Facts on that, man. I agree, man. I thought that DeMarvin played really well. That's why I wanted to cut the tape on and do a review on him because he could line up all over that D line. He could stand up and play outside. That was what I had been seeing.
He looks
the
leaner
camp
too.
Practices. Yep. About to say definitely leaner. You can see the burst and the hips are still super smooth, man, in terms of his ability to flip those hips to clear himself from the blockers. I thought that his hand usage looked really good. One of my favorite things that I saw from him took place in the third quarter, right at the end of it. Him chasing downfield, hitting the receiver, Receiver doesn't fumble it, but you watch him punch at that ball, and I'm literally just like, yo, you're going to do that in the stadium, and it's going to be a fumble one of these times. Same way I would look at Keanu Benton and watch him running down, punching at people. Same way we watch Cam Hayward run down the field, punching at people. It's like, yo, some of them dudes just get it. And when you see that start to show up more consistently, that's when I view those guys as starting to get it. Because usually big guys don't want to run. They're like, yo, I ain't got time for that. But that's the one thing that I would say with DeMarvin, where I'm just feeling like, yo, he's starting to put it all together and be more of a consistent player, not just having a moment here or there. You can see that definitely in his pass rush versus double teams or singles, guards or tackles. Thought that he played really well versus all of those guys, but more importantly, watch him in the run game. I thought that he was an active player there. He wasn't just, oh, I'm in my gap and let me just sit here. It was, yo, let me put your body here. Let me get off and try to get into the, get a tackle. I thought that DeMarvin and Peyton Wilson, those two specifically, when I was watching, I'm like, yo, y'all are playing this like, I'm not worried about this blocker. I'm playing this ball carrier. And it's a dope thing to see. It's pros and cons to both styles. If you're the super fundamental, I'm going to get in my gap. That play comes in, I'm going to make the play that I'm supposed to make. That works. But the guys are the ones that are like, yo, if I see this, I'm going to go get that. And he athletically has that type of capability. So that's why I was like, man, seeing him doing those things on this defense and up and down that D line, that makes me a lot more excited about him going forward, man.
Yeah. Thoughts on Beanie Bishop?
Man, so with Beanie, I liked him. This is my thing, man. I thought that he was really good against the run. I thought that when he was triggering versus the blitz, I liked his blitz entry path. I thought that he had nice eyes in zone coverage, because whenever he was doing some of the cover 3 stuff, he was typically the curl flat defender. But watching him squeeze on stuff, trying to jump routes, even tackling the catch, I liked. The plays where I saw him kind of get beat, I know the one with Steven Sims, it was on a 3rd down, possession down. It's man to man, but they're running crossers. That's a man beater. He gets caught up in the traffic, but he still chases it down, gets in on it. At the same time, he's not going to be just blanket shut down every single player that he guards. This is the NFL. Guys are going to make plays, but I thought as a whole, for that to be Beanie's first NFL game, undrafted dude, I thought he played well, man. I like the physicality, but more important, I just like how decisive he was. With younger players, it's not always going to be right, but you want to see them playing fast. You want to see them playing with confidence and just trusting what they feel is right. We'll correct it when we get back here. But if you on that field, Deke, and I'm like, yo, why aren't you going to get him? And you're like, well, I don't know if I should or not. As I'm watching you, I don't know if you want to make the play, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're tired or anything. It's like, because you're not, you know what I mean? You're just kind of sitting here. But if you give me an action one way or the other, at least we can coach it up. And I thought for Beanie, every time I watched him, he was decisive.
You
right
correct
or
me
wrong.
if I'm wrong, but he looked that way a little bit, though, on the crosser. No,
Yes,
like he looked a little
yes.
hesitant when he came over the middle.
Yes, and part of that, though, is because you're trying not to get blindsided because you're in man-to-man, and you just know it's traffic to my inside. So if we go outside, I can stay tight on this because the outside corner is gone. Inside, I got safety, I got 2 linebackers, and I got another corner, and I don't know where they're coming from. So we would say lock and level. Or we would pre-snap kind of determine, all right, if you're the LB, you're going to always attack your guy, go downhill, let this DB kind of get the right way to go behind you so that way you're not running into him. Because they will, on offense, you've heard rub routes, where it's literally, you come from that side, I want you running at 4 yards, you come from this side and at 5 yards. And I want you to run directly at his defender, I want you running directly at his defender, and make those defenders have to make a decision. Because we know the rules are going to side with offense if you run into those guys. So I do feel like some of that was that as well. Because it's like, yo, all right, now let's kind of see this. And it's preseason. So I doubt they have locked it into that extent because it's just different people out there. 1 minute you got Peyton, 1 minute is PQ, or not PQ, 1 minute is Landon. Then, you got Mark. Then you got Jacoby. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I think all of that kind of goes into the communication, because it was even times with Mark Robinson where it's like, who you have, but you could just even see a little of, yo, are we all playing this exactly the same? And that's just the first time you in the stadium, new people, different body types. That kind of hot chalked it up. But I thought Benny played really well, though.
Yeah. Do we need to be looking at a corner?
Ooh, y'all don't like Anthony's, but that sound like, huh? Y'all funny.
Well,
y'all are funny, bro. I already knew what time y'all was on. I was like, yo, they don't like Anthony, bro. They don't like Anthony Everett, man.
I'm just saying in general, because, I mean, we got our top two guys, and this is something we've been talking about all offseason. Like, was this first preseason game anything to get you to sway more one way or the other? Because actually, if anything, you were leaning more get one of these corners in the house.
Yeah.
Are you good waiting another preseason game or two preseason games? Yeah. Or do you want to sign Gilmore like today?
Gilmore was on that visit to Minnesota.
Really?
I don't know if they did the deal or not. He took that visit yesterday. So that was when I saw it, I was like, dang, bro. Because if that's the one that goes, then that's the one I wanted. Did he sign, or is he just the visit?
No sign yet.
All right. Because like I said, if we did go get one, that's the one I want. I think that he fits what we do. I think his style of play is beneficial for all parties, and yeah, it just can't hurt to have him a part of the group. But I don't know. I feel like I still look at that wide receiver situation with a little bit more concern, because I still feel that my corners are good enough, my safety is good enough, and my pass rush is what I'm banking on. When in doubt, my pass rush has to win. And when in doubt, I'm trusting in Cam. I'm trusting in TJ. I'm trusting in Highsmith. I'm trusting in Larry O. I'm trusting in Nick Herbig. Like, that's kind of my mindset with this. I was going to trust in Marcus Golden. Shout out to my dog, but my dog done retired on me. Man, oh my gosh.
Mouse Jack energy.
Oh my gosh. Listen, he's been on my phone. I need to text him still, because I'm just like, yo, I'm trying to give him like the professional courtesy of, all right, you made your announcement. I know everybody probably hit you up as soon as you did it. I don't want to be that guy, so I'm just Kevin to give it a couple of days or two. But Deke is burning a hole in my phone. I'm just like, bruh! Oh! No, man! We just talked. I'm just like, yo! Oh!
Heart's not in it, huh?
Bro! Oh, man! And I'm torn because I'm like, I get it. But come on, bro. Really?
Was enjoying that
non-training
camp life.
I was just like, bro, come on, man. Like, dude, you want to go back to that? Oh! But shout out to my dog, man. And the thing is, when you know. And I always tell people, man, it's like, yo, salute the guys that actually do know and are willing to actually step up and say it and walk away and don't cheat the game, man. Because that's when it gets weird, man. Dudes get hurt, all type of weird stuff can get done out there. But shout out to him, man. But yeah, I was like, dang, go on, man. So I trust my pass rushers, though. I feel like those guys are going to be constant. I feel like those guys are consistent. And I think we have depth there also.
Trice didn't look bad either.
Well, I was going to say, not only did Trice not look bad, but going back to D-line, I just thought that we showed multiple body types that could have success. I thought Kyron Johnson, number 53, I thought that he showed a nice burst off the edge in terms of his rushing ability. Thought Jeremiah Moon, who's been having a really good training camp, and a lot of people are excited about him, thought that he flashed and showed some good things. So I feel like we still have some dudes that are kind of like later on in the wings developing. I think that you can get away with that because you have TJ. Definitely because you have TJ, but then it's like, oh, you still got Highsmith and a Herbig. And I think that's where I kind of feel like, yo, my corners I can be all right with. And what is my blitz and linebacker going to look like? Because that's another part of just speeding it up. And the more I can speed it up, that means the less those guys have to cover for 5, 6, 7 seconds. So like I said, that's just kind of my mindset with it. Whereas I do think with receiver, especially not being able to see Roman Wilson just yet, that's why I'm just still just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I do want that piece because we've seen how it's like we've seen what it's like to play and try to win solely on defense. But we know you can have a lot more margin for error if you can score. And I'm kind of torn between, which ideology I want us to follow, because like we can see both ways with the way this team is like currently constructed.
I think at cornerback we're not getting an elite cornerback here because we're not going to be traded for one of those guys. We're just picking up a dude that's in free agency, whereas a receiver we actually have a chance
he can be
to get a top 10 dude right now. So, yeah, to your point, maybe allocate your priorities or your resources to receiver first before even thinking about cornerback.
Yeah. So that's, like I said, where I'm at with it. So, yeah. But sticking with that defense, though, what's a couple other dudes, though, man? Ryan Watts, I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah.
I liked what I saw from Ryan. I'm upset with what I saw from Ryan, too, because, Ryan, you was playing nice, bro. You was making tackles on the open field. You were getting down there aggressive versus the run and the pass. But, man, you left money on the field. You had a chance to get a turnover. Low key, too. All right. I need you to catch these things, man. All right. When that ball, if it's a tip or an overthrow, we have to have those, man. That's the money. Oh, that's the money. But I was a big fan of what I saw from Ryan. I thought that for that to be his first game playing exclusively safety, I thought that he did a really good job. I loved what I saw with his eyes, though. I thought that he was seeing the right things and he was triggering when he was supposed to trigger. And I thought that he tackled well. Like, yo, we know that you could tackle at Texas, and we not taking it away. We know you was physical at Texas. But this is the National Football League. So it's like you just want to see it.
Yeah, you were a corner at Texas.
Yeah, it's like we want to see this because this is very different. You hitting guys outside in versus I'm head up with this guy in the alley night and day. But I thought that he did a really good job of making those plays, getting the ball on the ground. I thought that he did a really good job of anticipating and reading and understanding pass concepts. Like I said, he jumped the one route. I thought he should have had a pick, and then the other one was slightly tipped. And if it wasn't, I think he catches that one. You know, but that's the one thing I would say, just leaving out. I was like, yo, Ryan, catch the ones they throw to you, bro. If they throw it to you, or if it's tipped, those are the ones. You got to get those ones, man.
Yeah, I'm already seeing comments from Terrell Austin on Ryan Watts saying that he's going to be a pretty good player for the Steelers. So
I can see it, bro.
They're viewing him
it,
as part of our long-term plans.
Yeah. Like I said, man, when I was writing down my guys of like people that kind of like stood out and flashed to me, he was one of the ones I wrote down, man. Because it was like, yeah, you can see certain things, and it's like even the almost play is like, that's an almost because you're reading and seeing what you're supposed to be seeing, and now you're stepping into it. Now you just got to finish it and just catch it, or you know what I mean, like however that goes. But it was, you're doing all the prerequisite stuff, and that was, I thought, was important for him, man, or at least for me to see. Mark Robinson, I thought that he played well also, man. We know what he's gonna do, super physical, downhill, like what I was saying, man, in terms of the production. I felt bad he got caught on Woods cover one. And that was the play where he's like running, chasing after him and stuff like that. That's sometimes the bad part of our defense. We will switch and teams they try to hunt it. They was trying to do it to Peyton early on. We were just giving them more zone concepts. But when it was Mark, it was more of the man concept. So that's when he got. But I thought that he played well, man. I was like when I saw from him, more so from his eyes. You know, that's one of my big things I've been critical about Mark on is like seeing the right stuff. Thought that looked good in terms of, you know, you seeing and going the right direction every single time because you're going to arrive with bad intentions. That's his calling card. Maybe that's the Peyton Wilson effect. You know, it's making everybody play. You know, I got to get locked in.
Yeah.
Either way, I like it, man. I like it. Nick Herbig definitely flashed doing his pass rush thing. That's why you've heard me talk about him multiple times too. They say I just think for him it's an opportunity situation. I don't want to see the opportunity too soon though. But I think it's just an opportunity for him because he's looking the part every single time I see him on the field, man.
Yeah.
You brought up Corey Trice. Shout out to Corey Trice, man. It felt good to see him make the play, bro.
Yeah, I don't think he was out there too much.
It just felt good to see him make a play, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, we know it's been a long time coming. We know we're excited about him. But it was like, man, all right. We know you're a big corner. Look big, look physical. And he for certain did that, man. Hopefully we'll see even more of him this week. But like I said, I thought what I saw from him in terms of his physicality, in terms of, you know, him looking and using his length, I did like that. Obviously, we didn't get a ton of him, but from what we did see, it was cool. Talk that Jeremiah Moon, but I say shout out to him. Jacoby Windman. Now, that's at the later part of the game, man, but
yeah,
he was also super productive, man.
Yeah, I told you guys to watch out for him whenever we signed him.
You did. Shout out to Windman, man.
He's got some smooth moves.
Yeah. And this was him at inside, too, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, he used to play inside before he transferred to Michigan State. So, like, he's versatile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was like, okay, Jacoby, like, thought he looked good, was very productive against the run. He had the PBU in coverage as well. I'm like, man, when you get your hand on the football and you're making tackles, that's a good day, bro. And once again, young guy, first time in NFL stadium, looked good. So like I said, I did like that. The final two dudes, man, that I did have was Logan Lee and Kalen Barnes. I thought that both of those dudes also, man, made some plays out there, was looking good at times. Barnes, I thought, played really well at times. But I know he had the deep shot play they took on him. He had the big PBU on that. I was impressed with that. And he also had once he had multiple tackles on special teams as well, watching him play. So you said, man, I thought those dudes all played pretty good, man. I'm gonna obviously go back and watch it again and again and again, because that's what I do. It's kind of my thing. I like it though.